I've received a request to very quickly show how we use the live functions of Planning Center services. The production leads will actually use the live function to advance the clock through different segments of our service so that everyone is on the campus can see where we are at what point in the day. So let's take a quick look at the website. So here we are in just Planning Center services, and I'm looking at the service for tonight. This is our general layout, and you can see we could edit things in here, but we're more interested in the services live function. So over here in the top right, we've got this little down arrow and services live with a live button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the live button. It's going to bring us to another page. I don't need notifications. But in this page, we can see that there's 4 hours to go before service starts. And when it starts, the first thing we're going to do is our band rehearsal. If you were to run your arrow up near the top of the screen, we have this little pull down menu, which allows us to choose light or dark mode. Choose the one that works best for you. We also have the ability to change our layout so we could see the full countdown on a screen like this. You might use this like on an iPad. If we were to do an outside service, we might set up that iPad in front of the stage, or there may be other functions that you would use this for. Let's arrow back up here. Actually, thinking about it, at Clifton, this is what you use to display your countdown for the stage at Clifton. You can do countdown lower, which probably can't see behind me, but there it is. We'll arrow up and a lower third. This one just covers the bottom of the screen there. I imagine you probably could use this, especially since they've got the green background there. You could key out the green and actually use this to display information in a broadcast. We're not going to do that here at Mercy Hill. No worries on that one. And then full screen overview, it gives us information about what is coming up next in the service. So it's kind of a cool way to see the layout along with the current timer. So at most of our campuses, though, the normal layout's there, and this is one we will use. Even at Clifton, you'll use this page from time to time. Now, in order to control what's being displayed here, you do need to take control if it hasn't been granted already. So in this particular computer, I'm logged in under my user account, and I do have the access as a production lead to be able to control an event. If you were not a production lead level within Planning Center, you would not be able to have access to take control. You wouldn't even see this option here. I'm going to go ahead and choose to take control. And now I have previous and start, which will also show next buttons. Previous and next buttons allows for me to control what is currently the timer. In a situation like this, we started way early and it went ahead and triggered a 45-minute timer for my band rehearsal. We don't need that, but we can make modifications at any point, no big deal. I could go to the next and it brings me to transitions practice. If I advance too early, I could go to previous to bring us back to band rehearsal. And you can see the timer kind of picks up where it left off as well, which is really nice. On the left sidebar, you can see the order of service, and this just shows you all the different things that are coming up, so you can know what's going to be next, but you cannot select right in here. It just doesn't take you to those parts in that sidebar, so don't try to control it in that way. You still need to control it through the next and previous function. If we wanted to change the time for our band rehearsal, or any current timer, we can click up here to edit it. And so I'm going to say I want this thing to be 55 minutes exactly. And I can rest on 55 minutes while this cursor is still blinking and I have not yet hit return, and it will trigger the start of that timer when I hit return. You might use this to watch a clock with a second hand to see, okay, a specific time. And we do, to the best of our ability, try to make it true to the second. I know that we can't always stay true to a second, but we try our best. Now, let's say we had a part of our service, such as a worship song, that maybe things go a little long or a little short. We are going to go ahead and advance the timer at the time when the next part starts. The reason why we do that is, if we get ahead in a service, we don't want the timer to go all the way to the end of where it was projected. We want to actually have the timer display accurate information to where we are now. Also, if we say have a teaching that might go a little long, once the countdown reaches 0, These countdowns will then put a minus sign, turn red text, and start counting up. So somebody who's on stage can actually see the timer behind us on the stage display, and they can know how far beyond their timer that they have gone. And everyone else in the room and on the campus can also see the same thing using the app on their phone, or even just looking at our stage display. And they can see we need to make up 5 minutes somewhere, and or whatever the time is. And that just helps everybody to see, that there's an adjustment that might have to be made. All right, I'm actually going to go back to our services view and show you one more thing that is super important. Each of these timers can be turned on or off. And so I oftentimes, if I'm the lead, I don't want to have a timer for this countdown video. Everybody knows it's going to go to the top of the hour anyway, so I can exclude that timer by turning it off here. You hover over the specific time. If you're not seeing these times in your view here, you can adjust that over here on the top right. There's view adjustments that you can make. Just make sure your times are displayed. If you have multiple services, you would actually see multiple columns here to represent each of the service times, and you can include or exclude items per service. They don't have to be the same in every service. So like, let's say for a second service, I'm not going to have a band rehearsal time. I might exclude that from the timers for that particular service. Now, I don't know who the lead is tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and include the countdown video again, because some leads will like that, some don't. So just know that that is where you would need to turn an item on or off if a timer is needed or not needed. If you were to add another element to a service in the middle of a service flow, it may not automatically include that timer, so be sure you check to make sure it is included if it's something that you're wanting to use. So hopefully that gives you enough information about using the live feature of our services. If you have questions, certainly leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to respond and get you some answers. Thanks for checking out the training.